Guys, I'm Megan Barker. Welcome to Jammin' and Jammies. We are sitting down with some of our favorite songwriters and industry leaders. We're going to find out how they got where they are and learn some valuable insights into the music industry. You can watch the interviews online or tune into the podcast. So just check out jamminandjammies.com for all the details on everything. Today, we are sitting down with Joel Shewmake. Joel is an artist and noted songwriter here in Nashville with cuts by artists like Montgomery Gentry, Trace Atkins, Lone Star, Craig Campbell, Cody Johnson, Brad Paisley. The list goes on and on. So we have a lot to talk about. Let's welcome him. Joel, how you doing?
Good, Megan. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for being here, my friend. It's good to see you.
Thank you for having me today. Always great to see you.
We have lots to talk about. Do you want to just start by telling everyone where you're from and how you got into music?
Sure. I'm from Cookeville, Tennessee. Originally, I've been in Nashville since 2001, living here. My dad was a singer, songwriter around the house. You know, he didn't get out and play a lot, but that was a lot of inspiration right there. So that has to be where I picked it up from. Yeah, I started when I was about 14 years old, just playing and all that stuff, and I got the sickness. It's in me. I can't stop.
Do you remember one of your first performances when you were just a teenager?
I sang the junior high talent show.
Did you?
Little karaoke tape of Garth Brooks' "The Thunder Rolls."
Really?
And that was scary, but I got through it.
God, I hope there's a copy of that somewhere.
I'm pretty sure there's not. I'm kind of glad there's not.
Oh, all right. Well, that's awesome. I did the talent show in high school too. Hey.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, when did you come to Nashville?
I started coming up around 96 and really regular in 98. To the point where I was just driving back and forth so much that I just finally decided it was time to replant. So
Yeah.
moved to Nashville and surfed on couches and crashed on couches and lived about every side of town except for the good parts. Moving once a year, you know.
Yeah. How long did it take before things started happening?
Well, I moved here January of 01 and you know, I got really lucky. I did work hard, but I got real lucky and got a publishing deal in November of that year.
Wow, it's pretty fast.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how fast that was at the time. Yeah, it was really fast. I was very fortunate.
So after you signed your first publishing deal, how long was it till you started having cuts and rights you were excited about?
Well, the rights I was excited about, those were just immediate. Sorry, my bells are going off here on my computers. I don't know how to turn it all off. Yeah, some of the great co-writes came in really early in that publishing deal because they had access to some really great writers. So that was really cool. Those guys were nice enough to waste their time with me for a little while because I was not seasoned enough to be working with some of those guys.
Right.
But I mean, to get songs recorded, I mean, there were some independent things, and I'm really proud of those. But to get something, you know, like we were all moving here trying to get, it was about 10 years for me.
Well, they say it's a 10-year town, so you would agree then.
I would have to agree there. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, how did you get your first publishing deal?
Gosh, I was hosting a songwriters night at the old Broken Spoke, and somebody didn't show up, so I was playing, and there just happened to be a publisher there.
Wow.
So I had to fill in for whoever didn't show up. And
the classic Nashville story that we all think, no, that doesn't happen. It does happen.
it can, yeah, it might not happen like it used to, but it can. But he's not the guy that signed me. That was Scott Gunner, who I met that night, and he had me just come in and start playing songs for him, and you know, doing the meeting things. And through him, I met somebody who I met several people through him, and that's where the first publishing deal came through.
That's amazing. Who were some of your mentors early on?
Um,
Were they
gosh,
songwriters? Were they like industry people who kind of gave you guidance?
um, I guess kind of I artists that I liked, and then finding out that the artist that I liked this certain song, or I love this certain song by different artists, and they turned out to be the same songwriters.
Yeah.
And let me shut this computer down. I'm sorry.
I always have to put my my computer on do not disturb when I do these.
Yeah,
I have the same problem.
that is above my
I
skill level.
had to Google it. It's okay.
So where were we? I'm so
Sorry.
sorry.
No, I was just asking you about your mentor.
I'm sorry.
I was asking you about your mentors, if you had any good mentors, if they were songwriters or industry people, anybody that kind of took you under their wing.
Oh yeah. Well, there's been a lot of great songwriters who have been really kind to me, and show me the ropes, I guess, of what to do, what not to do.
Yeah.
Um, Gosh, there's been so many people who've been so kind. I'm not really sure where to start on that.
Well, that's okay. The
Um,
reason that I ask is because you have taken so many people under your wing. Everybody in Nashville loves Shewmake. You've been kind enough to write with up and comers and kind of show them the ropes, people like me. And I feel like if you're a great mentor, it must be because you had great mentors. So I'm sure there were
well, thank you.
a lot of people along the way that kind of shaped you into who you are.
Yeah, yeah, there have been, and some of that's good, and some of that's bad. We just got to learn,
Yeah.
learn from
Yeah. Well, you've been around for a long time now. You've had a few different publishing deals and a lot of cuts along the way. Are there any cuts that stand out? I know it's hard to choose a favorite like a child, but is
it.
there anything that's more special that was a special time in your life?
There was a few cuts that kind of came through all all kind of together. Um, I'm really proud of all of them, but um, I guess the Brad Paisley song has to be one of the most special because he just is such a great songwriter himself, and it's who writes so much of his own material. So to be able to sneak one in there was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's a huge compliment when somebody who's a great songwriter wants to cut your song, right? That's amazing.
Absolutely, yeah. So that was
Yeah.
a dream come true.
For anybody who doesn't know, he's talking about Toothbrush, so go
Oh
check
yeah,
it out. What are some things that you look for in a co-writer?
gosh, it's always nice to write with someone who's done a bit of co-writing, and knows how to work with a songwriter, which is hard.
Yeah.
Um, Gosh, I don't know. I just look for it's just all so different, just always looking for someone who knows how to express themselves well
Yeah.
and use cool different ways of doing that, I guess.
I hear a lot of people say the most important trait of a good co-writer is just to be a good hang. Would you agree with that? That the most important thing is
That
just to be some fun to be around.
that could be a big part of it. I mean, who wants to hang around with somebody who's just miserable all the time?
Right.
I've been in the room with them, and I've been the one in the room who was that person. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, nobody wants to be around that. Yeah, you got to be a good hang and as positive as possible. I guess it's as difficult.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you being honest too, because I feel like everybody is both at some point. And but not a
Oh,
lot of people
absolutely.
would own up to being the miserable one. But you know what? This industry is really hard and we don't have great days every single day. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a 99% rejection
Right.
that brings you down.
Yeah. It's hard to put your boots on in the morning and get going sometimes.
Yeah, it,
Yeah.
it can be. Yeah.
Well, I heard from a little bird that you're working on an artist project. Is this your first artist project that you're going to be releasing?
Pretty much. I got to do some work with Phil O'Donnell a few years ago, and we shopped to try to get a record deal. That really, that wasn't a record that came out. That was some stuff we recorded to try, and it didn't work out for us then, and that's cool. But so yeah, I guess technically it's the first artist project that I'm putting out. So I'm really excited about it. It's been a lot of work, and I'm really proud of what I'm doing.
Ooh, okay, well, we'll have to have you back on when that's out and discuss all the details. We don't want to reveal too much right now. It's still very much under wraps. In fact, we might even be getting the exclusive here. I don't think you're talking about this a lot publicly yet.
No, well, yeah, not a whole lot. I'm hoping to get it out there somewhere cool. So yeah, I'll be glad to share it with you guys here first.
I can't wait. So maybe early next year or something.
I'm thinking early next year. I mean, there's a lot of it that's done, and there's just a few things left to do. But then there's all that tedious, non-creative stuff that you have to figure out. That is not the fun part.
Yeah, all the admin work, and it's glamorous.
Tell me now. Yeah.
Well, is this something that you've always wanted to do, or is this just kind of something that's recently, tugged at your heartstrings? Have you always wanted to put records out as an artist?
Yeah, I did. That's the reason I came to Nashville, and I wanted to be the artist, and I wound up being a songwriter along the way, and that's fine with me. I think large scale fame would be a really difficult way to have to live. The older I get, the more I can see that. But yeah, I can't lie and say I didn't have, stars in my eyes for all that. And still, it would be a lie to say that the stars aren't still in there somewhere,
I heard someone say one time, when people ask you, are you doing the artist thing? You're trying to be an artist, and that kind of terminology is just inaccurate. If you're an artist, you're an artist. It doesn't matter if you've been putting music out for 20 years or if you're just putting out your first project. You've always been an artist. And I think anyone that's ever seen you, anyone who's ever seen Joel, knows that you're an artist and how talented you are. So everyone's going to be so excited that you're putting this out, and you're going to have so much support. So I'm very
appreciate that. I hope so.
It's going to be great. I'm so excited. Okay. Well, aside from your new project that you're putting out, what's next for you? Is there anything else that you want to tackle?
Gosh, I'd like to climb Mount Everest. No, I don't like the cold that much. I don't know. I'm kind of a day at a time, kind of figuring it out. I'm not sure what the next move is. All I know is I am neck deep in all this crap, and this is what I've chosen to do with my life, and that's what I'm going to do with it. So,
wonder what the music industry equivalent of Mount Everest is. Maybe play in the Opry or something like that. Maybe having a number one song on the radio. That would be
a good precipice. Yeah.
Yeah. What is the best piece of advice that you've gotten, do you think, or one of them? It's hard to choose, but.
Gosh, as much don't get discouraged, and know you're going to write some really good songs along the way. You just got to write a bunch of really bad ones along in between that,
right?
Not bad ones, but mediocre ones. And, I still write bad and mediocre songs all the time. I just don't play those ones out.
Well, I know that you write a lot by yourself too. And, it's easy to get caught up in the machine, co-write every single day. Is it really important for you to write by yourself?
It is for me, because there's just some things that I feel like need to come out a certain way sometimes. This weird little stuff I do on my own. If I didn't have some of that strange little stuff coming out, then I think I'd be a little bit more dissatisfied.
Yeah.
But I do love co-writing, especially with the right people and when we're getting good stuff. But I've been writing by myself a lot more, and if I don't start co-writing more soon, I'm gonna forget how.
No, you won't. I think everybody was
writing. Art to it.
everyone was writing by themselves a lot more the last couple of years. We've spent a lot of
Yeah.
time in solitary confinement. And is your project that you're putting out, does it have co-writes and solo writes, or is it just solo
Yeah,
writes?
it's a mixture. I think I've written 3 songs maybe by myself on it.
It's a good
And
blend.
I think there's 8 songs on it, and so 3 songs I wrote by myself, and then the other 5 are co-writes.
I'm so excited to hear it. How do you
Thank you very much.
find new co-writers? If you're saying that you kind of want to jump back in and be co-writing a little bit more in this next season, is it just people that you meet out at around? And
Most of the time, it was really, when I was writing for a publisher, they would set up a lot of that stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, just kind of wherever, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, every relationship kind of develops on its own.
Yeah.
That's the thing about
Or-
Nashville, is when you go out to a show, you don't really know who you're going to meet or what's going to happen.
Yeah, you never can tell. I mean, gosh, I was playing somewhere one day and John Oates was there. And,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, that was kind of out of nowhere. And then, another time I played something for Tin Pan South, and the next day I got an email from a great songwriter asking me if I'd be interested in writing with him. I didn't know he was there. And that was so awesome. Really cool.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, you just don't know. And I found myself sometimes kind of, well, even our relationship or many other people that I know, I try to, it's like the butterfly effect. You try to trace back to where you met somebody, and that wouldn't have happened if this hadn't have happened, if this hadn't happened. And it's kind of wild if you trace everything back to its origin.
yeah, it is pretty wild. Yeah, I remember meeting you at my first jamming and jammies, and I was
Yeah.
really impressed with what you were doing. So
Oh,
you're awesome.
thanks. I mean, we just had our Facebook friend anniversary, so that was like 3 years ago. That's crazy.
Oh wow, it was
Yeah.
only 3 years ago.
It feels like a long time, doesn't it? Feels
Yeah,
like
it kind of
longer.
does. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Okay. Well, the industry is tough. I've seen people come and go already, and I've only been here, almost 5 years. I'm sure you've seen a lot of people come and go.
Gosh,
Um,
a lot, and
you know,
some really, really good friends.
really.
Yeah, over time, nobody's from here, so life eventually takes over, and you realize how much of it you're missing back where you came from, and you
Yeah.
go back there and quit missing it. So,
Yeah. I mean, and psychologically watching people do that, go home and get on with their life and staying here, it's tough.
yeah, it is. Um, but I don't blame anybody
Yeah.
for going back home and being with their
No.
family and their friends.
Right.
It's a lot to miss out on.
Right. Right. I think some people want to go back home, and some people make this their home here. And,
Yeah.
for those people, maybe somebody is thinking about throwing in the towel. What would you say? What would you say to them? I know it's kind of a heavy question, but it's just been a really rough couple of years here, not being able to get out as much, and it's been tough. So would you have
Well,
any words
with
of
the
wisdom?
internet, you don't really have to throw in the towel. I mean, obviously we're 30 miles from each other now, and doing this, it could easily be 10 times that distance. So
Right.
um yeah, it's I don't know what the perfect advice is. Just don't quit.
Don't quit. I love it. Honestly, those are kind of words to live by. Somebody told me recently too about I guess there's a quote from Frozen 2. I haven't seen it. I'm sorry. I haven't seen Frozen,
You
but
haven't seen Frozen 2?
but apparently there's a great line in there, just do the next right thing. And even though I haven't seen the movie, that's kind of become my mantra the last few months. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just going to do the next right thing. And I think that's kind of helpful. You don't have to
Yeah.
have it all figured out.
Yeah, well, sometimes it just folds out for you, and and then when it's there, you do the next right thing, and it's the right thing to do. So
Yeah. And I don't know. You don't have to have it all figured out. And I feel like for a long time, I felt like I had to have it all figured out. And I don't think you do. And sometimes think you can try really hard for a long time, and the second you stop trying so hard, magic happens.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you are putting out an artist project. I'm sure that there's going to be more people cutting your songs here soon. Is there anything
Fingers
else?
crossed. Let's hope so.
Anything else on the horizon that we need to know about?
Gosh, here's back to that don't have to have it all figured out part. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But hopefully so, hopefully some stuff will come about after releasing these songs, and maybe it will be another story next time.
Yeah, I love it. And you're always playing out somewhere, so everybody can come find you and on
Quite
Facebook.
a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Nights a week here and there.
Playing originals, playing covers, playing whatever people want you to play.
Yep. Doing it all.
Doing it all. Well, thanks for sitting down with us today. It was good to catch
Thanks
up.
for having me.
Yeah, I would love to do it again after your record comes out.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm in.
Sounds good. Okay, well, thanks so much, and we'll do this again soon.
All right, sounds good. Have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.
Jammie and Jammie's magic in the air. Head to toe, so cozy. Oh, look out.
Pop, pop, it's showtime. Showtime. Guess who's back again? Oh, they don't know. Oh, they don't know. I bet they know as soon as we walk in. Wearing fuzzy things, candy rings, ain't PJ looking so fly. Don't look too hard, you might hurt yourself. We look too damn good to deny.
At Frisky
Oh,
Frog.
snap. I'm a dangerous girl with some footies on my feeties. Keep up. So many awesome hits around us, and we're gonna keep them coming. Keep up. Come on down to the frog, and we'll get you Jammie juice, and come on. Riders only.
Put your candy rings up to the
Move. What y'all trying to do?